What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you a neat little trick in Starbound to change the distribution rates for certain items, ores, things like that. So this is for advanced users, of course, and if you want to play your game legit, then don't continue watching because this requires modifying some of the game files, but it's really simple to do and not a lot of people actually know about this. So what have I done? This is my ship here and I'm on a new world that I just flew to, and you're going to notice something strange when I warp down to the planet. So I've actually went into the files and I've changed the coal distribution rate on the surface level to basically 10 times what it currently is. So if you look, there's coal absolutely everywhere on the surface, and I set it that way in the files. So you can set different ore distribution rates on different levels of your world. Like, you know, there's different levels. Like there's layers called like layer 1, surface layer, etc., etc. So you could go surface layer, change the diamond rate up to like 10 from like 0.003 or whatever it was, to up the distribution of certain things. Now this looks really dumb and like retardedly, you know, OP. So why would you want to do that? Look, there's just too much. You know, it's just unbalanced. Well, if you're just really not happy with a certain ore, you say, you know, I never seem to find this ore, blah, blah, blah. Well, there are different distributions on different tiered planets for the surface ores. This still can help you because you could just slightly up the ante of maybe, say, you didn't find much iron ore since the new ores were introduced and stuff like that. Okay, so maybe you want to just up iron ore from say it's at 1.003. on the surface and level 1, you could change that iron ore to maybe 1.008, just a small boost. So now I'm going to get out of the game and I'm going to show you how to modify these ores here to your liking. And basically as soon as you modify them, you just need to fly to a new planet, basically load in a new planet, and you're perfectly fine, and you'll have those changes affected in your world. Alright guys, so what you need to do to actually spawn the change the distributions is go to your program files folder where you've got your Steam folder. Go into your Steam folder, then your Steam apps folder, into your common folder, and then you want to find Starbound. Once you found Starbound, you want to go into the assets folder. This is actually where all the game data can be manipulated. You can experiment. Just make sure you back things up if you're going to check out and change any of the other stuff here. There's a lot of stuff you can mess with, so it's actually pretty fun. But after you get into the assets folder, you need to go into the biomes folder for this tutorial. Once you're in the biomes folder, there's two files here. You're gonna want to we're gonna go right click and open with and select a file like just Notepad. I happen to use this program called Notepad++. It's really good and it's free and it helps you manage. You'll see how nicely managed the document is, or otherwise it's a little bit confusing. So this is what it looks like. You need to open the oredistributions.config functions file in that folder. So I'll explain quickly what's going on. So basically this title here, these titles for each of these groups is the surface level at which each group is referring to. So you can see you've got surface ores, and the surface face ores is all you need to change those surface levels. And then the rest is just more and more depth, more and more depth. And then these numbers here are the threat level of the planet. So you notice, for example, take plutonium. It has a 0% spawn rate all the way up until you hit planet level 5 to 10. It's actually not even going to spawn. However, if you look at coal, it's got a pretty high spawn rate in these early planets here, and plutonium starts to pop out with a similar respawn or a similar spawn rate to coal on these high 7 to 10 tier planets. So that's how it works. So you could actually change plutonium to have the same spawn rate as coal on a level 1 planet by going here and here, and these would be like your lowest tier planets 1 and 2, and you'd have your coal or your plutonium. Same goes for every other ore as you scroll by: silver, gold, platinum, diamond, iron, all that stuff. So what I did for my tutorial was I just changed all the coal here to 10, all the way down and all the way down here. So if you want to change the ores, you can do it that way. Now, before you say this is super OP, maybe there's just one ore, like say iron, that you notice just isn't spawning enough. You want to change this from 1.05 or 1.02 or whatever it is to a 1.15 or 1.25, just to up it a little bit, and that's perfectly fine. And you can do that. And if you want to go really crazy, you can just take the diamond, throw it at a tier 1 planet, 10 or something, and get yourself unlimited. But yeah, I mean, this is if you don't like cheating and changing the game and stuff, then just move on and don't worry about this. This is totally for just if you want to do this, here's how, and now you know. Alternatively, if you look in this distributions file, the same thing's going on here with other aspects of the game. You can look if you scroll down, different clumps of items, distributions you can change in here. So things like random encounter here's, you've got them. Rare items, you can actually improve the probability of chests dropping more rare items. Mini bosses here, you can change the probability of mini bosses. So all these types of things, feel free to experiment with. Make a backup of these 2 text files before you do anything, just to be on the safe side. And I hope that helped you out. If you like this video, please drop a thumbs up on it, a like. It really helps me out. Subscribe and drop a comment. I want to know what kind of funny things you guys were able to come up with. So drop a comment. Let me know what kind of fun combinations or distributions you were able to mess with. Take a screenshot even and send it to me. It'd be great. So yeah, I hope that helped out, and we'll see you guys next time.